All right, welcome back, Outcast, to another edition of Confessions of an Outcast, where I am reading from the book I wrote as I left the military about 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And we are in chapter 2, lie number 2, LIE, limited idea entertained. The chapter title is Time Isn't Prime, and we start with a quote from an unknown source that says, infuse life with action. Don't wait for it to happen. Make it happen. Make your own future, your own hope, your own love. And whatever your beliefs, honor yourself by not wasting your time. And that couldn't be any truer of a statement now than it will be 100 years from now or 100 years ago. Don't waste your time. At the terminal awaiting departure for the free rotator, you're spending your time. You consider the benefit of the free flight to be valuable. Of course, in a scarcity mindset, you will likely take full advantage of it from one limiting perspective. Then the call comes in again. The flight is delayed for 2 hours. Parts have not yet arrived. They always being supplied, don't they? Damn. So that's a little inside joke with us supply officers from the U.S. Navy. And when I talk about a free rotator, these are the military flights that fly between bases, and sometimes active duty and retirees can jump on these flights and get a free trip, but they're never guaranteed, and you're always waiting to see if the plane will take off. So it's free from a currency standpoint, but from a time span standpoint, it's very, very expensive because you don't know if you're going to get on the flight or not. So you, your spouse, and 3 rowdy kids are stuck at the airport for another 2 hours, waiting to begin the vacation to visit grandparents that you have eagerly waited for months. Sure enough, an hour and a half later, an announcement comes over the intercom. The flight is canceled. Return here at 0500 tomorrow for departure preparations. It is 11:45 p.m. and you are half an hour from your home. Darn. But hey, you saved the $1,100 that would have otherwise been spent on commercial airline tickets. Instead, you have that cash in your bank account that you can use for something else later. Or you can invest it for retirement and reap those rewards 3 to 5 decades in the future. That's sarcastic. So sarcastic. The lie. Today, the systems we are living in have convinced us that our currency and the cash we have on hand is much more valuable than it actually is. That's one of a scarcity mindset. The quote, cash is king, close quote, you have heard, and you believe it. The Base Family Help Center taught you to save and budget and to live in a scarcity mindset for many reasons. And surely that government bureaucrat who gets a for certain paycheck and who will never lose their job knows all there is to know about family finance. If you believe all that, then it is time you got smart on what fiat currency is. It will change your mind and your view on all that our resources at the Base Family Centers have led you to believe. What's really king is cash flow, not cash itself, which leads us directly to why you should never hurry up and wait again. The lie is that time is not precious, and that is directly related to your retirement savings, behavior, and cash flow perspective, which we'll cover in chapter 6. The truth. The truth is an abundance mindset is where true liberty is found. Time is our key to the wealth lock, and the more time we waste remaining uninformed in this arena, the longer and harder it is going to be to set up true wealth for ourselves and our family, which means the longer we'll be in servitude. Wealth will unlock liberty and true freedom beyond military service. Wealth will project us into the free class. Without it, all we'll ever be is their servants. The time commodity is our most valuable asset, yet we typically do not perceive it that way. During military training, the hurry up and wait approach is flanked by the get your ass moving ass chewing. It is a psychological makeover that the military makes no effort to correct during the transition programs, no matter how long you have served. Frankly, there's little reason to wait to begin changing that paradigm immediately after basic training and officer training pipeline graduation. Change it now. We must treat our time and everyone else's as the most valuable asset. The entire view on life will change once you accept this basic truth. Time is the one irreplaceable commodity. You cannot get another second from each day. We both have 24 hours today. We spent 24 hours yesterday, and we likely have another 24 hours ahead of us tomorrow. That's 1,440 minutes each day. At 24 hours each day, 7 days a week, and 365 days each year, we only have 525,600 minutes annually. We have little time and must recognize that. Each breath and every second is a gift. How you spend each minute is completely up to you. Regardless of your duties and responsibilities, you are likely in a situation that dictates how you need to choose to spend those 24 hours. and it is your decision alone to spend them wisely or waste them away into days, weeks, and months of unproductive activity. I recall a time expenditure during my later lieutenant commander years where an ad hoc watch section was stood up for the Argentina missing submarine response effort. I was not assigned to a duty section. The benefits of staff duty are numerous. Don't hate on me, line officers. But I had developed good relationships with aviators and submariners on the staff at U.S. Pacific Fleet Submarine Force, and I threw my name in to help. An aviator mentor I knew gave me a call sign. Hell yeah. I changed it for the kids, though, and grabbed the hashtag heck yeah on social media. Look it up for some fun. Participating in that response effort was the right thing to do. Hey, Silver. Well, given the hectic nature of how this duty section and watch station came into being, my 6-hour watch turned into 8 and then 10 hours before relief showed up. It was a simple and honest misunderstanding, but nevertheless, the date night I had planned for weeks with my lady got pushed to the back burner. In fact, we had to cancel it. Duty called, and I succumbed to the paradigm that my time belonged to the government 24/7, 365, and I did my duty. At the time, I was still in the mindset you probably find yourself in today, that cash is more valuable than time. I urge you again to change that paradigm now. Cash is not more valuable than time. That event was a blessing in disguise. However, it catapulted me into filling the duties of my department head boss for the crisis, and I had a chance to really shine. I took full advantage of the event, working through the Thanksgiving Day weekend to ensure our logistics teams were doing all they could to move people, equipment, and material from the west coast of North America to the east coast of Argentina, and in noticeably short order. I was on calls with the East Coast staffs at 0200 Hawaii Standard Time, ensuring the sequencing and information flow between the commander and the staffs on the East Coast was consistent, up to date, and exact. We were doing our duty as is expected of every service member wearing rank. It was exhilarating getting the opportunity to make one small contribution at the expense of a ton of my then not so valuable time. The full story of that experience is available out on the internet, so I will not beat the point here. Just know that I too was in your boots and of the mindset you have today, and I wish I'd realized much sooner in life that our time is much more valuable than we believe in service to the nation. I offer that wisdom to you now. We'll finish this up with one more story. My transition experience thus far is one that is reinforcing the fact that our government bureaucracies do not value time, and the people who work in these bureaucracies value our time even less. Hours of linear online training combined with a week's time spent in seminar learning about transition in a cookie-cutter one program for all approach is a huge time dump. ETAP was a waste of my time. For many senior officers and senior enlisted who attended, it seemed to be well worth theirs. It was a jolting wake-up call as to how unprepared they were then and how little time they had remaining to get educated and fully prepare for post-service life. We're all individuals being put through a program that is made for a mass population. The results, when followed, will be like the results the DoD gets after putting you through the training pipelines. Hurry up and wait. It is the bane of your existence in uniform service, and it will hold you back quicker than anything else we will talk about in this book. Your time, not your money, not your traditional assets, not your health, not your status, not your other wealth stuff, but your precious, limited, universal given time is your most precious and valuable asset. Say it out loud 3 times. Time is my most valuable and precious asset. Go on and say it. All right, now with that out of the way, I will give some insight into why that is. Think about it. What is the greatest equalizer amongst all humans? Is it access to money and capital? No. Those things are within our reach. Is it our health? No. We can mostly dictate our health and seek out medical professionals to improve it. Well, I don't agree with that anymore at all. Medical professionals are not in the business of helping us improve our health. Medical professionals' goals is to cash flow for their business and to sustain the symptoms to treat the symptoms that sustain the chronic illnesses that hinder most people's lives today. So I don't agree with that anymore. Now, if you go to a health and wellness professional or a nutritionist or somebody that really gives 2 shits about your well-being, they care. Medicine, no. So only your time is always and unavoidably limited. The second we're born, an hourglass is flipped over and that sand starts falling until we die. Our time is composed of the dash on the headstone. That dash is short too. We cannot get one more minute in the traditional sense. As we will discuss in the wealth chapter, though, you can buy other people's time. In fact, one of the 2 things is generally always happening to you. Either you are buying other people's time or your time is getting bought. In military service, your time is being bought for pennies on the dollar and you are wasting away opportunity unknown to most of the force. Your intentional, informed planning will ensure your fruitful use of time between today and that ultimate liberty event when you leave military service. Do not miss your chance to use time wisely and maximize the value you get out of your dash. Not knowing where to spend your time while transition planning becomes a military veteran's disadvantage. It's a tremendous disadvantage if intentional planning begins within 24 months of separation or retirement. Intentional planning begins today, right now. The life that awaits beyond military service hinges on knowing where to spend your time and focus your attention today and tomorrow. Keep one eye on the missions you're assigned and the other on your mission to transition. Make time your friend. Don't let it become your enemy. I guarantee it, not valuing the time we're given each day is in fact everyone's disadvantage. And I conclude this chapter with a quote by Michael Altshuler that says, quote, "The bad news is time flies. The good news is you're the pilot." And then current day quote from Thomas Sowell: "The least productive people are usually the ones who are most in favor of holding meetings." So that's chapter 2. So these chapters are pretty short. So these weekly sessions aren't going to go on for 30 or 45 minutes. But yeah, there's the only thing that I would change was that comment about medicine. based on my real world experience with medicine over the last 3 years. So yeah, especially medicine in the military, they're just collecting a paycheck like you, and they don't value their time either. And you have got to use your interface with medicine to make sure your record reflects all the medical events that you have happen to you during service, so that whenever you get ready to file your claim for post-military benefits, your medical record is good to go and you're not trying to recreate all that stuff at the end. Super, super important, because that's a big, big lift. So all right, appreciate y'all liking the channel, liking the video, sharing it with people who probably need it. Let me know in the comments what else y'all want to hear, and to let me know how you enjoy the other aspects that we're including now. So we've got this riding shotgun idea going, where I can have a shot of the day when I'm pissed off about some shitty service I got that day, and then insurance or banking or any of them asshole communities. Yeah, or I've got a thought of the day where it's about just life, things I'm learning as the day goes on. Sometimes Silver will have a thought or two that he wants to give. That'll be in the thought of a day, right? Or a just hold Silver moment, JHS. Those are my initials, but you just hold Silver or just hold the metal Silver. So that's kind of fun. So yeah, we reached 100 subscribers this week. Extremely grateful that there's 100 people out there who have some sort of interest in what we're doing here, following this little journey we're on. And yeah, end of a long day. I started school last week too in the Urban Sustainable Agriculture program. So learned quite a bit about gardening last week, and some of the things I did wrong as to why some of my plants had trouble getting started this spring. The other was water. I think the okra, it was too wet for okra this year. I didn't keep it out of the rain. So we'll have to just throw the okra down once the rain stops and see if it'll come up in the ground. So all right, that's all for this week's session of Confessions of an Outcast. Chapter 2, Lie number 2, Limited Idea Entertain number 2. The time isn't prime. Time is absolutely prime. Value your time. Don't let people waste it, and don't waste it yourself. All right, Outcasts. Let's stay weird together. To your liberty. The Outcast Commander is out.